Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on site, on location at the Wildcat Sports Pub. We're here every single month with West Genesee, and very happy to have the West Genesee Wildcats athletic programs here with us. I believe it was 4 years ago, the first show I did was with West Genesee football with Joe Corley. So hard to believe it's been 4 years at least.
It's been 4 years.
It's been 4 years.
Yeah. August of 2017 season.
Yep. August of 2017. We're happy to be here with you. Wildcat Sports Pub, 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. The place where you'll see the West Genesee show. We're here on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. We'll be shared on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, WakeUpCallDT.com, and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, where we are live Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Coach has been on the show a lot with us in the morning. I'm happy to have Ben Chamberlain here with us, wide receiver and corner, and of course head coach Joe Corley back for our second piece in the football kickoff for the Wildcats. With that being said, can we please give Ben and Coach a round of applause? So Ben, I'm going to start with you. We talked a little bit off the air, and you heard Christian talk about it's hot. It's been very hot. But you love it. You love having the opportunity to be out there and get after it. What can you say about being on the field, practicing in August, knowing that last year was so drastically different?
I mean, last year it was pretty much snowing for the first month of practices, first couple games, and we never really experienced anything like that. Nobody ever had. And it's definitely nice to be back where it's not snowing, but I'm not exactly excited for the 90-degree weather every day.
What can you say? I mean, I'm used to practices like this with the Jaguars, with 7-on-7s in Tampa, so I'm used to being outside and feeling this. How interesting is it for you to have Syracuse feel like Orlando, Florida?
I mean, we're not really accustomed to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it pretty much happens every summer, but it kind of happens fast. Like, it'll be 70 one day and then 95 the next. So, I don't really know. It's just it's weird.
It's been consistent though now.
Yeah.
So how does that push you, knowing that your games are going to be played and it could be 70, 60, 40 by the time you play, but you're practicing at 90?
I mean, I think you just have to play through whatever. I mean, you can't control the weather, so you just got to play through it. Hopefully, just have a good game.
You talk about the things you can't control, not just on the football field, but in general. People tend to focus on what they can't control and let it bother them. What can you say, being a young man, about controlling the controllables and letting go of the things that you can't control, not just in football, but in life in general? Because I think that's a big learning tool that not a lot of people always learn sooner than later.
I mean, the things that you control, you could definitely have to work harder at. Things that you can't let it affect you. You just kind of have to roll with it and do whatever is necessary.
Coach, we talk about controlling the controllables, and it's something that's come up with, I mean, the first time I heard it said in front of me was with Scott Schaefer. And those people out there that know, I mean, I have a great relationship with Dino Babers, a good one too with Doug Marone, but very, very close with Scott and have a lot of respect for Scott. He spoke all the time about controlling the controllables and letting the other things go. What did you take away from that, and how have you tried to do that? Because as a coach, you know, you can't control the other team. You can watch the other team and try to stop them, but you can't control them. Can't control what the fans say, can't control who's on the road, can't control the weather, as Ben talked about. So how have you grown to learn to not care about the things you can't control?
So my philosophy has always been family, trust, and toughness being that last piece. And toughness has nothing to do with how big and strong you are, how hard you hit. It's the mental toughness. And I always define mental toughness as your ability to do your job regardless of outside factors. Because there are factors in this game that you can't control. Now, mental toughness to me is the ability to do your job and not let the uncontrollable factors affect you.
You know, you talk about the fact that mental toughness, I think all of our mettle has been tested this year and a half, this past 18 months, 19 months, we've all been tested in mental toughness. Whether you're an athlete, a student, a janitor, a mom, a dad, if you're like me, a business owner, single at home with your dog. I mean, we've all had different situations, but this has really tested our mental toughness more than anything else. It could shake the best of us and really make us have to figure things out. What can you say about 19 months of a giant mental toughness test?
I think the fact that these guys are here doing what they're doing is a testament to just that. I mean, you wouldn't realize it, but COVID and the shutdown for a year and a half really affected our football program in a bad way. We lost a lot of kids. We were talking just earlier about the depth we don't have on our O&D line. That's because there's about 5 or 6 guys that still aren't playing today as a result of the COVID shutdown. So the fact that these guys are here says a lot about their mental toughness. And what it came down to was they all had a goal to get back to normal, to get back on the football field. They focused on that goal, and here they are.
In seeing them come through that, what have you learned the most about your team, not even with wins and losses, seeing what they've been through?
They're resilient. That's the bottom line. They're resilient. When this whole thing went down, I sent an email out, so we're looking at over a year and a half ago, and my message to the guys was, extraordinary times require extraordinary action, and extraordinary people are the ones that are going to get through this. And when you look at what we did in the spring, how special that was, and we've been able to hit the reset button, move forward, turn the page to this chapter, and here we are, it says a lot about how extraordinary and special they are. I don't always express that to them. I'm saying that now, and I'm probably going to go back to chewing them out tomorrow morning for something I didn't like, but they really are special kids. They're tough kids, mentally tough, physically tough, and we're really lucky as coaches to be able to work with these guys every day.
Ben, you hear Coach talk about the mental toughness. How difficult has it been to stay mentally tough through everything you've been through?
I mean, when COVID first hit, nobody knew if we were ever going to have a football season. I mean, obviously, we didn't have one in the fall, which really, it sucked, honestly. I was looking forward to it. I bet everyone of their seniors definitely was. But when we got that call back that we're going to have one in the spring, I think everyone just jumped at the chance that I have to play my hardest right now, especially those seniors last year, because they had no other option.
And when you look back at the seniors last year, the fact that they had something, what can you say about what you tried to do to get them to leave on a positive note?
I mean, I think just because they had something, they tried even harder than they would have. I mean, everybody just wanted to give those seniors a good run, pretty much.
We talked about the quarterbacks of Christian, Becker, Vinny, and River. You're a wide receiver. What can you say about the guys, and how would you describe them?
Well, I mean, we're still in a battle for our quarterbacks right now, which both of them, they're performing really well. And I will be happy with whoever gets the job, and even if they rotate. Christian, I mean, this guy is one of the leaders on our team. He's always trying to hype everybody up. He's always trying to get everybody that chemistry, Even Colin, another captain, trying to always get our chemistry together, get everybody on the same page.
And being a captain, how would you define that? What does it mean?
You definitely have to be a leader. I've never been a captain before, so I kind of take it in my own hands this year. Kind of had to go off what our captains did last year with Danny Becker, Braden McNeil, and just thought about how they ran things last year and how they really took over the team.
You bring up Dan Becker and Braden McNeil, and those are names that I know very well. And it's crazy, but, I mean, you feel it, I'm sure, a million times more, and you as well, Ben, but because we've done this for so long, I have to miss people now. I have to feel what it's like to have them be on this stage and to not be here. What did Dan leave you with, and what did Braden leave you with?
Well, Braden was just a once-in-a-generation quarterback. He took things into his own hands. pretty much gave our offense a spark. And Dan was just the leader of the entire team, honestly. For our defense, he had like 20 tackles a game, which is just crazy. He's also a once-in-a-generation middle linebacker, and we just have to try to fill those holes and take what both of them taught us and put them into all the games.
You also play corner. How would you describe your best skill set as a receiver and as a cornerback? Obviously, there's some things like hands that are going to help you in both, and footwork and whatnot, and then being a route runner, anticipating the route. So I would imagine that these two jobs kind of help each other out a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, I think the thing that made me the player I am is video games. Honestly, during COVID, I played Madden 20 the entire time, and that really, I was able to understand defenses, route concepts, just from playing it every day. And it definitely helped me being a corner, because I never had played defense before my junior year. And then I was just kind of thrown into it and got the starting job.
Coach, when you hear Ben Chamberlain say he learned defenses by playing Madden, how does that make you feel as a coach?
Okay, honestly, I'm not sure if you heard this, but maybe, 7-8 years ago, there was actually an article on ESPN.com about LSU and how they were studying their playbook by playing NCAA 2013 in the hotels. Yeah. So, if Les Miles is doing it in the SEC, it's got to be right? Yeah. Look, these are kids, man. These are kids, and you hear about the cell phone era and the PlayStation generation, but man, what were we doing when we were kids? We were playing Nintendo, we were playing Sega Genesis. That's what kids do. Yeah. So at some point, we got to let kids be kids. Now, we don't want them to be addicted to it. We don't want it to become an obsession to where all they want to do is be on their phones and their Xboxes. But what's the harm? Listen. Plenty of worse things my son could be getting into than PlayStation, right? So we're good. Ben, keep playing.
And I find it interesting too, because I do think Madden teaches you. I love Madden, so I really do think it helps you kind of learn the nuances and whatnot, but I've never had somebody come up here and admit that, so I give you a lot of credit for that, because it's true. It is, and I felt that as well. But at the corner position, you said you never played it until you were a junior, and you got thrown into that. What made you fall in love with it and make you want to continue to be a corner on the team and play two ways?
Honestly, hitting people is probably one of the most fun things you can do on the football field. I don't know. Even getting interceptions, I was one of the only kids. We had 3 interceptions last year, and I was one of the only ones with one. And it gets your teammates hyped up, gets everybody just in the mindset,
What's better, a touchdown reception or an interception to turn the tide the other way?
It depends at what point of the game you're scoring. If it's like a go-ahead touchdown, probably a touchdown.
Probably a touchdown, okay. But an interception if it's like 2 minutes left and you're up by a few and you stop the game that way.
No, that would probably be better at that point. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Coach, what is the best thing or things that Ben Chamberlain brings to this team? As you talked about, some guys are not going to be two-way due to depth this year, but he is a two-way player, so what does he bring?
So a year ago, or should I say a few months ago, Ben was a role player. He was a starter, but he was playing behind 2 solid receivers, Jake Mueller and Nick Ruiz, 2 of the best in the section, in my opinion. So Ben has stepped into that leadership role to where he's going to be the go-to guy. And he didn't really get a full season in that supporting role like a lot of kids get. Some kids get 8, 9, 10 games. Ben barely got 5. So to see him blossom into this role where he's the guy and he's the one that we're going to depend on, and he's already proven that we can depend on him. He did it with such little experience in such short time. That's impressive.
Ben, what would you say is the best thing about Coach?
I think Coach just being able to bring everybody together. He has certain rules that he abides by, the focus, the determination, everything. And he always sticks to what he is good at. the offense, I've always loved the offense. It's a passing offense. I don't want to be like some other schools, running a wing, just running the ball every time when you're down your throat. And the defense. I love the blitzes that we bring. We can have some fun with all the plays. And, yeah.
Fair enough. So, with that being said, it's time to jump into rapid fire with Ben Chamberlain, Joe Corley, myself, Dan Tortora. We are on site on location every month with West Genesee. This is the football kickoff special for the West Genesee Wildcats at the Wildcats Park here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Coach, if your son, we'll bring your son up again. If your son was going to describe you with an adjective, which one would he use and why?
Probably mean, because I yell at him all the time and he tells me you're mean. Hopefully, honest again, hopefully he would say that I love him, because as much as I do yell at him and as much as I do punish him and put him in timeout, I try to make it clear every day that he's the best thing that's ever happened to me and my wife, obviously.
Yeah.
And I hope, just like all these guys too, as much as I yell at them and as much as I'm constantly telling them all that they're doing wrong, but at the end of the day, it's just my way of seeing the best in them and the best of their ability and wanting to get it out of them. So hopefully it's my love for him and my desire for him to be happy and healthy and successful.
Fair enough. Tough love sometimes.
Absolutely.
What's your one for me?
Okay, so if you I don't want to ask this, and I don't want to go to politics. Let's not go there. But if you could pick one quality in our next president or our next governor or whatever, one quality of leadership that you think is that our country needs or our state needs, what would it be?
I'm going to look into the camera when I say this. There's a lot that we have not had in years. I feel like my mom put it perfectly when she said, I feel like we're always voting for the less of two evils, because it never feels good. So I'm going to look here to the governor, to a mayor, to the president, to anybody, and say a word that I feel like people don't use, especially in my world of the media. Honesty. Tell us the truth. Can we get an applause for honesty? Because we're lied to all the time. So, yes, honesty. And I very much could announce my desire to run for governor and or president right now and stand at a podium and talk more about this, but honesty. Because the world does not have enough of it. People can't just come to us and say exactly what they mean, how they feel, and what they're going after. It's been smoke and mirrors forever, and when you have smoke and mirrors, good people get hurt, good people get abused, and good people get left behind. So for the love of God, can anybody in the world of any type of leadership just be honest, is what I want.
Great answer.
Thank you. You're firing me up today. All right, Ben. If you were running with me for the presidency, we're going to stick with this, and you're going to be my VP, what should our tagline be?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah. Oof. I'm gonna go.
I'm glad you got that.
I'm gonna go with a West Genesee traditional head, heart, hustle.
Okay. Head, heart, hustle. Why?
I don't know. You gotta be in the right mindset to be any sort of president.
Yeah.
You gotta have the heart to do it. You gotta love your country, and hustle. Just I don't know. Just to have the desire to make it a better place.
I love it. Head, heart, hustle. Smart for West Genesee to have it, and smart for us to have it as a country and as a world. What's your first one for me?
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
You know, my second home, and I just came back from there a couple days ago, and I did live there for almost 2 years. I would say Florida. And, you know, my best friends down there were like brothers, so shout out to Evan. And my, another father figure, another mother figure to me, Papa Joe and Mary are down there. My nieces are down there, Carly and Gracie. My buddy Jason's down there. So I have a lot of family down there, a lot of friends down there. I used to work at Disney. So, I would say Florida's the second home of the show, so it would make sense if I wasn't here, I would be there. All right, Coach. Let's stay with travel. Where's the one place when when you finally feel safe enough and good enough to travel anywhere, where's the one place not in America that you want to go to and why?
Ooh. Italy. Half my family is Italian, the other half is Irish, but the Irish half, they all live in Ohio. Never really knew them, was never that close with them. But my mother's side, the Italian side, I always said I had, 2 brothers and 2 sisters growing up. My other brother was my cousin. My 2 sisters were my cousin. I also had 2 sets of parents, my Aunt Carol and my Uncle Carl. My grandmother was off the boat, so there was a lot of Italian pride, and I would love to just go to Italy and just see what it's all about. I mean, the pride that my family has in their heritage it's something special. So to honor my grandmother and my uncle who just passed, to go back to Italy would mean a lot to me.
And we wish, obviously him a beautiful life up in heaven now, a deserving one. So a lot of positivity and a lot of prayers sent to you and your family, and a lot of well wishes that you get to Italy, because I have that blood as well and I know how important it is. What's your last one for me for the set?
So if you could talk to any person, dead or alive, either you know them or you don't know, it doesn't matter. If you could talk to one person and ask them any question, who would it be? What would you ask them?
I would interview Robin. I would sit with Robin Williams, and I would ask him, because since I was like 4 years old, my comedy has gone off of his, and we recorded that I do at least 47 impressions. So we recorded those over COVID, and he was always a master of the arts of that. I would love to sit with him and ask him the question, how does your brain fire? Because I know how my brain works, and my brain kind of never really shuts off imagination-wise, and I'd really love to dig deep and just understand his brain, how he got there, how much of it was just raw talent, what did he train, how did he learn to do what he did, because I would love to just, kind of riff back and forth with him and see what I could do, and have him go back and forth with me. So I would love to work with Robin Williams, and hopefully someday in heaven we can both make God laugh. So that'll be fun. All right, Ben, last one for you. If you had to have a sign, I've asked this before, but I've never asked you this, so I want to go here. If you had to wear a neon sign above your head that was like a speech bubble, what would it say? And why?
That's a tough one. Honestly, I don't know how to answer that. Probably, I don't know, my mind's just blanking right now.
Could say anything.
Anything?
Anything.
I don't know. I play football for West Genesee.
Okay. A speech bubble that says, I play football for West Genesee. Nothing wrong with that. All right, what's your last one for me?
If money wasn't an issue, what would be the first thing that you buy?
If money wasn't an issue, what's the first thing I would buy? Yikes.
Doesn't matter how much it is.
Yeah. I would buy an island, I think. I'd buy an island, so if God forbid anything of the last 18 months happened, I would take all the people I love and we'd get the heck out of here and we'd just go to the island. So we could stay together, we could quarantine together, but yeah, I would go to an island somewhere, and I don't know, sometimes this world makes me want to go to an island with no cell service, just for a few days, and then come back. I think everybody needs a reset button, which Joe talked about. So with that being said, there is an island called Tortola, which is one letter off, but it's still not mine. So we got to have a Tortora Island. Somebody told me close enough. I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. Right. I don't own that island. So that being said, Ben Chamberlain, Joe Corley, myself, Dan Tortora, West Genesee kickoff special for football. We have one set left, but not before we show these gentlemen some love from the community here at the Wildcat. We'll be back right after this.